Here goes a test recording just to make sure that the gain and everything is where it's supposed to be. How are you, Alvatross?
What the hell's up with that announcer voice? He's just like,
Hey, how you doing? My name's Juhadre.
That's what I do. That's what I do. It's part of my persona. Hello there, everyone, and welcome to this episode of JuPodRe, the conversational podcast with absolutely no roadmap. I'm Juhadre.
I'm Alvatross17.
And I'm Blien.
I can hear how tired you are in your voice.
Normally when I speak, I use the kind of the top back of my throat, but there I was using more of like here at the bottom of my neck.
To give a little background, our work has opened up unlimited overtime, and we are taking advantage of that like crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm tired.
I believe it.
And so has mine.
Yay! So we're all tired.
Which is funny because my wife's job's the opposite. They're like cutting hours.
Ah.
Because everybody got their credit card bill this month for the holidays.
Yeah.
So they're all dead for like this month until next month when, oh my gosh, let's go buy stuff again for Valentine's Day.
Yeah. So I know we've already talked about how there's not really a roadmap for these episodes, and we talk about it every once in a while, and people who know us and who have been on the show understand that, how it's a really organic conversation.
Yeah, and then today we had 3 conversations that like in the beginning of it we just stopped talking.
What I was gonna say, that is true. We have really kind of stopped expressing things outside of the podcast. But what we end up talking about is just so random. While I was doing the editing last week, I kept track of all the things that just popped up without any research, without any thought, without anything. And I wanted to share those with you if you wouldn't mind.
Go ahead. I feel like that's a lot of our conversations.
Okay, so the first, you were talking about your new show, The Expanse.
Mm-hmm.
How instead of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, it was the Church of Human something. It was an A word that means to gather.
Yeah.
Assemble. Or assembly.
Was it assembly?
I don't know. I didn't watch the show, but the moment I was home and...
But it's funny that they call it that because they refer to everybody as Mormons, and I'm like, come on.
But yeah, assembly was... Just the instant you were talking about it, said it's a word that starts with an A, means you gather. It was like, oh, assembly.
But like
it was that quick.
But like I don't know if it was that specific word, but
Maybe
it probably
not.
was.
But while we were talking about it here, it wouldn't come to my mind.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking, A, it means to gather. I don't know, but it was instant when I was doing the editing. So there's that. Do you have anything to add, Blien?
Just that I watched the first, was it 2 episodes of the
Yeah,
Expanse?
you're still not into it.
I'm still not, like,
But
the premise is entertaining, but it's just not
For you.
grabbing my interest.
because me and Moose are both like, no, I like this show. My wife likes it too now.
There you go.
But again, not everything's not for everybody.
Okay. Inside of blisters, we said amniotic fluid. That is not correct.
What is it?
What is in it?
Yeah.
Or, okay, it's...
Did you look it up?
I looked up all about it.
Oh, okay.
There isn't an actual name. All over it said it was serum, plasma, or lymph.
Oh, so blister juice.
Yeah, it's blister
Blister
juice.
juice.
But amniotic fluid...
Is what comes out of a baby when a baby's born.
Not out of a baby.
No, it's the
what's
fluid
around,
that's inside the sac that's around the baby.
around a fetus, yes.
Yes.
So
there we go.
that was very wrong.
Yeah.
I had the feeling it was very wrong.
I did too afterward. I was like, I'm just going to stick with it.
I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if we had scripted that conversation, none of us would have even gone close to saying amniotic fluid.
You want to know
inside
something
a blister.
embarrassing?
What's that?
That goes off of that is how I thought that was amniotic fluid. How that's completely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I did not pay attention in school for like the health class. So you know what your urethra is, right?
Urethra, yes.
I used to think it was the thing hanging in the back of your throat. And my buddies let me think that until some random person was like, that's not what that is, you idiot. And then they were just laughing. I was like, for years, they let me think that.
Well,
I just didn't pay attention in health class. I didn't. So I never knew that, or the anatomy.
That that thing does start with a U.
It's a uvula.
Uvula.
Yeah, I didn't know that because I never paid attention to anatomy, and it was in college where I found it out. But throughout high school, they let me think it was the urethra.
Do you know where I found out what that word meant? I was watching an episode of Archer in my mid-20s.
I just didn't know.
Yeah, I did. So I knew what a uvula was, and that goes back. Did you see the movie Monster House?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
It's the cartoon that.
kind of cartoon.
Yeah.
It was a claymation CGI type of thing.
Yeah.
But when they're inside the house, he's like, okay, well, if that's the tongue and the door is the teeth, that must be the uvula. And his friend is like, oh, so it's a girl house. and the girl looks at him and says, what? No!
Oh, that's
Everyone
funny.
has a uvula. And so I've always remembered that. And then it was the Archer episode is he's trying to figure out who's smuggling fake cancer drugs because he has cancer and he finds out that someone's messing with him.
Fake cancer drugs.
Yeah, so instead of intravenous cyclophosphamate, I think was the name, and some pills,
Yeah.
they gave him like sugar pills and Zima in the bag. So he's just been injecting himself with vodka.
So the placebo.
Yeah,
basically.
essentially. So he hasn't. His tumor's been growing, and he goes on a rampage.
Oh man.
First guy he finds, he strips himself down with all the weapons. He has his like 9 guns, 8 knives, and all this stuff, and he's doing an intimidation thing.
Oh my gosh.
And so finally he says, "All right, now that you've seen everything, tell me where your cancer patient killing boss is, or I'm going to slowly push this knife into your urethra." And I was like, oh. And just from context, I was like, I know what that is. And that's when I learned.
You telling me that story reminded me of when Keira Knightley, when she played Elizabeth Swann,
Yes.
was pulling out all those weapons. I'm like, where was she hiding them all?
And that's in the 3rd movie again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still haven't sat down and watched that.
You don't watch the 3rd one?
I've seen it, but since we talked about it last week when you were talking about the breaking off the toes, no, I haven't watched it. I have seen it, but
You need to go rewatch it.
Yes.
Okay. I was like, what the hell? Because I remember watching the later ones with you.
Yes. No,
Yeah.
I have seen them. All right. We talked about Zombieland and zombie movies that happen in winter.
Oh yeah, the little girl's name.
Little Rock.
Oh.
I had that in the back of my mind. I wanted to say it, but I didn't want to be wrong again.
I was gonna say again.
Yeah. And then the other guy's name is Columbus. And then I did a search of zombie movies in winter. And I found like 4 different lists that say top 25 winter horror movies. And like 6 of them are zombie movies.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah. First off, I haven't looked them up.
Yeah.
But you always hear about the big pop culture zombie movies,
Mhm.
and not one of them do I remember being in.
Yeah.
In
So the conversation stands.
Yeah.
We can't name them, but they
There are
do
there.
exist. Yeah, they exist.
I gotta go watch one of these and see how it works out because I'm gonna be like, nope, not plausible. It's G.I. Joe and the ice all over again.
So then the Superman thing, it was not a Man of Steel. Definitely not. The title of that movie is Superman Returns.
Oh, so that's the older one.
Yes, it came
Okay.
out in 2006.
Yeah. Is that the one where he gets thrown into the Marlboro truck?
I don't remember a Marlboro truck.
One of them, he gets thrown in a Marlboro truck, and you're like, yeah, they paid big money for that giant truck to be there.
The Thanksgiving movie about the turkeys is called Freebirds.
Yeah. Isn't that what we called it?
I don't remember.
Oh, wow.
You described their spaceship as an egg and a big, strong, dumb rooster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that what you searched and it came up with Freebirds?
No, I did Thanksgiving movie.
Oh.
And it
it just popped up.
Yeah, it was
Because there's
weird.
not a big list.
Arduous.
Arduous.
It was the word that Blien used in his What the F story about his journey getting tax information for his grandma.
Very difficult, but worth it.
Okay, the worth it thing was something I added.
Yeah.
I was wrong about that. It just
Okay.
means strenuous effort, difficult, and tiring.
Arduous.
Arduous.
Okay.
It's a great word.
It is a great
Use it.
word. And the last one, you had to use Internet Explorer 9, right, Blien?
That's what it asks.
Okay, you had to use Chrome to get it to work, but
Yeah.
it said Internet Explorer 9.
Dumb.
We are currently on IE 11. It was released in December 2019.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't use it, so I don't
Exactly.
follow it at all.
I went back and found the timeline. 9 was released March 2000. What do you think?
2001.
Okay. And Blien?
7.
11.
Okay.
2011. Internet Explorer 10, somewhere between March 2011 and December 2019. What's your guess?
15.
Okay.
16.
Are you just Price is writing him or something? Going 1 year over. 2012.
Oh, so like a year later. Okay.
Yeah. 9 was so bad that they had to release 10 just over a year later, and then 11 came out 7 years after that.
Oh, wait, well, I mean, that's kind of like when they came out with Windows 8, and then they had to come out with Windows 8.1 because 8 sucked, and 8.1 still sucked.
I enjoyed Windows 8.1, but that's me.
I mean, I got used to it, but it was horrible to like figure out at first.
Mm-hmm.
But I figured it out.
So then the last thing that I remembered when you asked if we had seen Dragon Ball Z,
Yeah.
I said no and then described an entire
Yeah, you're
scene.
just like, no, I haven't seen it. Blah blah blah. We
So-
just, like,
I feel that I should explain that a little bit more. When I was growing up, my mom didn't like Dragon Ball Z and didn't want me watching it.
because of the violence.
I don't know the exact reason. Probably the violence.
Maybe she was a proper fan and hated the fact it took like 3 episodes to like warm up to the actual action, only to have like 3 seconds of action and then 3 more episodes of them like talking crap again.
Maybe. So, my cousins were big Dragon Ball Z fans. They had full seasons on VHS, and when DVDs were coming out,
Oh my
they
gosh,
got the...
VHS. Do you guys remember? Oh, sorry.
So when we're talking when you had to buy all 9 of them and it makes a picture on your shelf and everything, they had those.
Oh, I remember buying stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if somebody didn't put it back in order, you were like,
Yeah, right? It's like, how do you not put it back in order? But I had a sleepover at that cousin's house and I was like, let's watch Dragon Ball Z. And so I saw the beginning of that season with the androids, and that is the extent of my
gotcha.
sit down and watch it. So I have seen that part and I remember it very distinctly for some weird reason.
Because it was good.
I don't know. I could debate it as yes or no.
Yeah,
But,
no, I get you.
but yeah, that's where that came in. I'm sorry if I confused anyone by saying no, but then going into such
Yeah.
detail on that.
My dad, if I remember correctly, it was Walker Texas Ranger. That's what he had, and it was like one of the seasons, and it was of the VHS that had the picture front.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't allowed to touch it at all.
I believe that.
First off, he was a big Texas Ranger fan. It was Chuck Norris.
Who doesn't love Chuck Norris?
I don't know.
All his enemies ever.
Oh,
Come on.
Smart ass.
You could also say White Goodman doesn't like him.
Who's White Goodman?
He is the antagonist in the movie Dodgeball.
The dude with the penis ball
Yes.
pump?
And
he does
that's
when he
what
says-
you remember.
And he does it, I'm just like, because he's always like, pump, 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 pump.
At the very end, when they, and spoiler alert for someone who hasn't seen a 14 to 15-year-old movie by now, at the end when Peter and everybody, they're doing their Average Joe's commercial now.
Yeah.
White turns off the TV. He's like 400 pounds. He's like, yeah, whatever. I won that tournament.
Isn't he eating like
Friggin-
an ice cream sundae?
He has a chicken leg. He's got like this giant bucket of chicken.
Oh, is it chicken? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the ice cream is at the beginning of the movie when he says, "This is me, 4 years and 400 pounds ago," and he's eating it with the ice cream scoop out of the 2-gallon.
I was like that
bucket.
because that was what I was picturing. Okay.
But because it's Chuck Norris who gives the final vote to let him play
Yeah.
because he was late, at the very end, I won that tournament. Effing Chuck Norris, and it's like the best quote I think in the whole movie.
That's funny. I haven't seen that in years. we actually just started talking about Step Brothers again at work.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we got our coworker AP going all over it. It was hilarious.
You like stuff like that.
It's just funny.
It is funny.
The karate thing where he's like, do you just ever just randomly walk up to people? Do you still do karate in your garage? I remember getting you to watch that for the first time. You were nonstop laughing.
I was laughing quite hard. I enjoyed that thoroughly.
Oh, it's so funny. Oh, I'm just thinking of that.
But yeah, that's how natural every episode is those type of things that we really should like know or understand before saying. We just don't.
We don't. I'm not a research guy. That's a lie. It depends on what it is.
I agree.
It really does. So, what were we talking about when we were going to our cars from work? We were saying something that
It was something about Wendy's. You went and had lunch. You got
Wendy's.
the 2 for $5 deal.
Oh yeah. Okay, I was really annoyed about this. Okay, so we all like a good spicy chicken sandwich, right?
I do, yes.
Wendy's has really put me off because before this, the one time before that, I went to Wendy's and I was like, I want a spicy chicken sandwich because they're good. It was like all they did was take it and just submerge it in pepper. I'm like, okay, that's not spice that I want. It was just disgusting. I feel like that's what I was going to tell you.
Maybe.
But I don't remember. I didn't write it down because
Right.
I was going to my car. I just wanted to get out of the cold and go to my car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was something about the 2 for $5 deal where you get the Dave single and a chicken sandwich, and then you were like, hey, yeah, and you
Dude, I have no
your arms
idea.
out.
I'm that tired. I'm that exhausted.
I think that's okay. It's okay that you don't remember.
No. But I will say, I did realize that even though Moose has been moved schedule, again, random topic.
Mm-hmm.
So, our friend Moose, just so anybody remembers, he was working, 8 to whenever they let him off in the morning. So, like 8 to 4, 8 to 2, whatever. And then they said, well, we're going to give you morning shifts so you can have the rest of your days because he wanted days again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now he works at like 3 or 4 in the morning. And I'm like, that's not helping his case because he'll come over here and then say, I got to go after like an hour. Which I was able to just give you right home the other night. It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It just sucks.
Yeah.
He's now. And then he goes home that night because we're watching a movie. We watched this movie called Blockers. Have you seen it?
I've heard about it.
I have it if you want it.
Is it funny?
It's funny.
Oh, it's funny.
Okay.
John Cena's in it and he plays. So to give you a little background, this is funny. He's always like been the super big, tough, badass guy. No, he plays a overprotective dad who tucks in his shirt.
Oh boy. Is it so? I know it's John Cena. Is it also Mark Wahlberg?
No. The guy that kind of looks like Mark Wahlberg out of the corner of your eye.
Oh, that. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Who is that guy? Do we know his name?
What's his name?
I don't know.
The internet is in my hands.
Yes.
Excuse me a moment, everybody. But
go ahead.
That I read the plot for it, and I can't decide if I like the premise or not because the idea is it's parents trying to stop their kids from hooking up at prom, right?
Yep.
So they're blockers. And so...
And it's got a picture of a chicken.
Yeah, a chicken. So it's cock blockers. It makes sense to me.
Ike Barinholtz.
Ike Barinholtz?
Ike Barinholtz. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the guy that, like, from the corner of your eye looks like Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, he really does.
But you could probably stick 50 cents between his teeth.
Anyway, I can't decide if I'm on board with that because I should be because it's trying to stop, kids doing that before they really should. But B, why is that an expectation that is in our movie that's what happens at prom?
It's not even an expectation of the movie. That's like a weird expectation that's just always been stereotypical.
Okay.
Because even the TV show, one of my favorite TV shows, That 70 Show, when they go to their prom, Eric Foreman rents a hotel room because they're going to go lose their virginity. And like, there's a bunch of... That's always been like the thing. You lose your virginity at prom. I did not lose mine at prom. I went with a buddy because we went to a weird high school.
Hold on. You went to prom with a buddy or you went to lose your virginity with a buddy? We got to specify
I went to prom with my buddy because the girl to dude ratio was like 4-1. Because I went to an alternative high school, and so why'd they let us have it? It was weird because there was only like maybe 10 girls in our school and like 50 dudes, so 5-1 ratio.
Okay.
It wasn't that great, but
Not
we
really
weren't
bad.
allowed to bring dates because you couldn't bring somebody outside of the school. So we just kind of had
Ah.
just like a random open dance floor, and me and my buddy were just the DJ.
Oh.
So we hooked up all the sound systems, ran all the wires because we used the amplifiers are kind of like the one that you bought, where it's just for whatever you want to plug into it.
Yeah.
It's just to actually amplify the noise. We had 4 of those speakers in each of the corner of the main room, and then we just had it all running to our just to our system. That was it. I don't remember all the terms. I just knew how to work it.
And that's all that really matters.
Yeah, but we did that, and so I mean, I danced with some of the girls that were at the school, which is weird. It was weird, but like we were all just having fun because they were dating other guys, but we were dancing. But I also knew at the end of the night I wasn't gonna go get lucky.
No.
Because first off, my date was a dude, and I'm not into dudes. Not saying that's wrong or right. That's just not my thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was funny. But I had to walk in with a girl though, because when they do the open video, they had you walk in with a girl.
So they just had to like cycle through and
They did. Yeah, they did. It was weird because they just did close-ups to see it, and then they just have you go through the back door. Like,
Mhm.
you're gonna get you go back in line again. So every guy
Oh,
comes in with a
that's
girl.
awesome.
It was weird because like we watched the video and I'm like, she came in twice. It was weird.
Should have had them change dresses or something like
Yeah.
that.
No, they just came in twice because I was like, oh hey, like I know her. What a tramp.
Oh.
It's not what we said. But
It's a
as an
funny
adult, that's why I'm
afterthought.
like, why are you walking in with like 4 different dudes?
It's a funny afterthought for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, so that was my prom. It was just a giant dance party. We were just having a bunch of fun dances and slow dancing. It was weird.
So this conversation
Went
it's
weird
a
again?
throwback to one of our old episodes, just barely.
Oh.
Juhadre is naive. I think that's what we called it.
Oh.
Naivety of Juhadre.
Juhadre.
Was that the F or one of the actual episodes?
One of the
We had an
actual
episode.
I know we had an episode, but
Yeah.
that was before Blien was with us.
Speaking of that episode, we were going through the Cards Against Humanity.
Uh-huh.
Your wife would love the fact that they have a Harry Potter version now.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, I was thinking about buying it
Mm-hmm.
so we can play it once we're out of this horrible time.
So what were you gonna...
Well, it is a strong stereotype.
Oh, that's what you're getting at. The
Yeah.
whole you're gonna lose your virginity on prom. Yeah, that's actually not just a TV thing. That's like a real thing. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
understand that. And I know that that's a strong stereotype. I don't like it. So making a movie about
I don't
it...
either.
It rubs me the wrong way, where these parents... The concept of the movie is that stereotype exists. These parents know that's a stereotype and haven't taught their children that that's unacceptable.
Oh no
and then have to intervene.
No. A little different on how it plays out in the movie. If I may explain a little bit.
No spoilers, but yes.
I can't without a spoiler.
Okay, then if you think...
You will find it funny.
Okay, so knowing that explanation here, that the idea that it's too hard to explain right here, but I will trust your judgment and I will probably
It's
give
fun.
it a shot.
I think you would like it. Blien,
Yeah.
I think you'd like it.
I think I will
Again,
too.
so to be on the same page as you, I think that's a dumb stereotype because I think with sex, I'm a very big person on sex before marriage. I know that's against our like belief system in our church, but I'm like, I hate it when couples get married and then have sex and find out they're not sexually compatible because this person likes this and this person's like super not. And I'm like, well, damn, because now this person's not satisfied. This person's like boring or what? Because I see too many people like that. So I'm like, yeah, go find somebody compatible. but like
Ugh.
that early in life, I think prom, like you think you're in love, you're really not.
No.
You're in high school. There's just so many hormones.
I agree.
Yeah, and well, guys think with the wrong head. I'm just gonna say it. That's what teenagers do.
I agree.
So I mean, it's just funny because like that's what I think about. I was like, yeah, no, I mean, like the parents are kind of right. They probably should not. Their kids. I would tell my kid that, like, dude, I'm gonna recommend you don't, but I'm not gonna stop you because it's your life. But I think it's funny the way they go about it in the movie because, oh my gosh, it is. There's parts of that I know you're just gonna find hilarious.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 Our good
Walkers.
friend does she
Lionheart.
Lionheart loved it.
Oh, was she around too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was here. Yeah,
Very
she
good.
came over that night.
Lionheart was on the podcast
Yeah.
with
Yep.
our.
She also just went on a double date with me and my wife last night.
Very good.
Went really well. It is hilarious because she kept asking me what the dude was like. I forgot to mention she got all prettied up because she was like dressed to impress, and I forgot to tell her that he is just gonna come natural. He's not gonna dress to impress. He's gonna this is what I wear every day. So you kind of get what you get. But they hit it off so well.
Oh, that's very good.
But he is such a nervous guy, so shy, so introverted, and she's so outgoing.
It's
but
the exact opposite.
It was awesome to see them communicate because she's just like so out there, and he's not. But it worked out really well.
Good.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous that she might be a little too much for him at first.
Well, then it
He
doesn't
hadn't
have
been
to
in a
work
date in
out.
7 or 6 years,
Jeez.
and she was like, she's a little much, but we all know that.
Yeah.
So love her to death, though.
And that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
love you, Lionheart.
Yeah, she's just she knows I say this, but she crazy.
She crazy.
She crazy.
Yeah. Speaking of crazy, why don't we move on to some crazy stories
yeah.
with What the F?
Yes.
Hey, this is Blien reminding you to check out SoesicGaming.com for quality clothing and other swag. Go check them out and use code JuPodRe on checkout for an additional 15% off.
Okay, so pulling up, last week we had 3 nominations. Those nominations were, Twitter is right here, so back to that. Click on myself. Oh my gosh, where did you go? Okay, so last week we had What the F IRS, drive-through, and tech support still sucks.
I loved listening to those stories again this
Oh,
afternoon.
I returned the part,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't got my new one yet.
Of course you haven't.
Nope, I'm pissed. I'm going to probably I don't want to have to call a lawyer. But anyway, moving on. So, What the F IRS won by a landslide this week.
Nice.
Yeah, so Blien, I was like, wait, what's his name again? Blien, you may either go first or pick who goes first.
Juhadre.
You want me to go first?
Yep.
So, I've done this once before, and it's a bummer because it's not my own story, but my life has been boring the last week. So
Okay.
I'm going to steal one from the radio.
That's fine.
Okay. So on this particular show, they call it the Tacky Trash News Flash. And this story starts with a woman going through her husband's phone
Okay.
and found pictures of him with a young woman. And so she stabbed him.
Is this the one where she stabbed him with a squirrel?
No. No.
That's a real story.
I believe that, and we'll get to that. But they wanted to kind of tease the big reveal because it's not that big of a deal, right? You know, when you find that your husband or your significant other is cheating, you know, sometimes drastic measures are taken.
Well, it's a big mental, like, it hits you hard.
Yeah.
So I understand.
And that's what they were talking about. And he said, all right, now, which family member was in this actual picture? One of the hosts. So the one is telling the story. The other asks, well, which family member is it, right?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's not just a freak out and stab a guy. Because, you know, stuff like that happens all the time. There's nothing really unique about that story. So you think, you know, it's a cousin or it's a sister or something.
What do you mean that happens all the time? Like, of a woman stabbing her boyfriend?
Maybe not so extreme, but, you know, people...
You mean like a woman freaking out because her boyfriend's...
Or a dude.
Okay. I
Just
thought you were
people
talking
freaking out.
like I haven't heard very many people just stabbing people.
All right. Overreactions to
Gotcha.
finding pictures of your significant other with someone else.
Yes.
Those type of stories are everywhere, but what makes this one unique is it was not an affair, it was not a relative, it was her.
Holy
He had been digitizing their old Polaroids to give to her as a gift, and so what she saw were the pictures of them 20 years ago, and she didn't recognize herself and stabbed him for it.
Now, it was on the radio, so you don't know. They probably asked on the radio, well, it was because she was fatter? now?
She just let herself go.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
Think of the irony.
Yeah.
She stabbed him for seeing him with another woman,
I'm
quote
going to
unquote.
ask the next question. Did they break up?
I don't know.
I'd jump her.
I'm like, bye, Felicia.
But what an incredible story.
What the crap?
First, an overreaction, a huge letdown in the surprise factor for the guy, and then, you know, what a bummer to not recognize yourself.
What if he would have just like gave her all these in like some kind of photo album that like didn't say, hey, these are of us, and she starts going, who the hell is
Well,
this
see,
shit?
that's-
Like going through all of them?
That's exactly it. Is the idea was he was digitizing all of them so
Yeah.
he could say, hey, look, I went through all of our pictures and I made them digital so we never lose
So we
them.
can do a flip
Look
book
at
and see how
this.
fat you got.
Yeah.
I'm so.
But yeah, think of all of the wrong things about that story.
Oh my gosh.
It was her in the pictures and she stabbed him. I was laughing out loud alone in my truck
Oh, man.
on my way to work because that is just such a ridiculous story.
Oh, that's just as good as the lady who I don't even remember why, but she got mad at her boyfriend and tried to stab him with their pet squirrel.
I can't remember that story. You'll have to tell me that another time. But
Poor squirrel.
amen.
Yeah.
But to move on with what the F, we'll call it Juhadre's radio story 2. I feel bad about that.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Blien. And sorry, audience. Like I said, my last week has been relatively boring, and I do not have any stories to share.
You want to go first or you want me to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
So I have a picture here, and
I love
mine is
pictures.
neither positive nor negative. It's just a how does that stay up? It's
What?
a physics what the
When he says that, all I remember is the neutral planet from Futurama. Well, what should we do, sir? I have no opinion either way.
So this should not be physically possible. For those of you who are just
No, I
listening,
get it. I get it.
there is a broom leaning against the wall.
Was this it locked? Was this just recent?
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is at a probably a 60-degree angle.
I know you can.
What the
From
heck?
You
fr-
could
or
do that
30
during, like,
from
certain-
vertical.
You can do that during certain times of the year, but this is not the time of year.
That is weird.
Yeah, it's leaning too far to stay up,
Yeah.
but it's staying up.
What the F? That's freaking weird, Blien.
What do you want to call that? We will show the picture on the pod. For those that
I
want to see it.
almost want to call it pottering. You know what pottering is?
No.
It's when you jump off something high with a broom between your legs to look like you're
Oh gosh.
flying.
I was gonna say witchcraft.
That's what I was thinking is witchcraft.
Witchcraft.
Okay, I think people will get that.
Pottering is funny once you explain it. It makes sense because you look like you're Harry Potter jumping out a window with a broom.
Yeah.
But the explanation has to be there for me, so I don't know.
Nope, I'm good. I'm
That
good.
is witchcraft.
Okay, so I have a story now. Okay, so Blien can attest to this. Wasn't really snowing that bad when I took you home that night, was it? No. It wasn't sticking. No, so after I dropped Blien off at his house, I was coming home, and I was heading eastbound on 9000.
Okay.
And as I got to Bangor, there was somebody in a Dodge Dart
Mm-hmm.
that was perpendicular on the on-ramp to southbound Bangor. Like, they started sliding under the bridge where the snow wasn't getting.
Is it where it's always dry?
Basically, I don't know how they spun out. Here's my other thing is, so they kind of hit the car next to him because the other car was pulled out the side, and I think it was damaged on the side because like the passenger side, because that's the side. So I'm going down this way, you know, the ramp goes on this way. So they were like right here, right before the lane from the other end, before this lane was here. So it was right there.
Mm-hmm.
But the Dodge Dart's perpendicular, so you couldn't get on the highway because he's blocking 2 lanes of traffic now. The other car's kind of pulled over the side, so I wonder if he hit him. But I'm like, how? How did you do that? Because first off, your car is front-wheel drive, if I'm correct.
Yeah, darts would.
I think that's front-wheel drive. The roads are not slippery. They are not slippery at all. It's not sticking. No. So I don't know how. I don't know.
That is pretty incredible,
But
actually.
my thing is people are stupid. As soon as it starts snowing, they have to freak out. And I'm just like, because I don't know how. Because it wasn't slippery. Because I was on, it was snowing worse where I was coming from. Because as I was coming into the city, it was actually getting lighter.
Yeah.
And I was on Old Bingham Highway, and they do not plow that road at all.
Don't.
It is one of the worst roads to drive on in the snow for our area. It was fine. Really a lot of grip because I was trying to slide. And I was just doing that thing where I just go like this because I couldn't slide. I was like, oh, there's not enough snow. It's not sticking. Like you can still see the tarmac or blacktop or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, tarmac's for airplanes.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay, well you can still
the
see the
blacktop.
asphalt. Blacktop.
Yeah, there you go.
Or the concrete because you're getting on the on-ramp. And I'm like, no, there's no, no. There's nothing. It wasn't sticking. I have no idea. I have no idea how it happened. But I was just like, what the F? How?
That is a very good question.
Because there were 4 cops around him blocking off traffic, 2 tow trucks there, and 1 cop just looked like he was confused too.
Well, yeah.
Because he was standing there just because you know how when people have that just dumbfounded look on their face? He was standing there just standing back, just looking at everything, just kind of like, he looked like he was just like, the f happened here? like what an idiot. So, I don't know what I want to call that. I'm going to leave that up to Blien.
You're just going to drop it right there and say Blien picks a title? That is amazing.
I just want to, you know what? How about how?
How?
Just question mark. How? Question mark.
The dart missed the mark.
Okay. Okay. Good one.
Dart missed the mark.
That's actually kind of funny. Okay, so we have 3 nominations for this week. Let's see, we have Juhadre's radio story, number 2. We have Witchcraft, and The Dart Missed the Mark. That's actually really good. Now that like I'm saying it and thinking about it, that is funny. But I don't know how that happened. So go ahead and listen to after you listen to the episode, because obviously you have to listen to it first to hear them. Don't forget to vote. The poll will be up on Twitter after this episode airs. You have any of our social media. We got Instagram, Twitter, my TikTok, which we'll be adding more videos once I actually get my Karma Grip back. We've got YouTube. Go ahead and leave a comment, drop a like if you have us, message us, text us. DMAC. Yeah. Let us know what you think. Sorry, I'm tired.
I understand.
My brain is not matching my mouth right now.
That's okay.
Because I might have to go back to work too.
All right. So then let's wrap this up with some announcements.
Announcements.
Woohoo! What was that? Oh, was that locking?
I got a locking sound on my phone, so I was like, click.
It sounded like a camera. I was like, why did you need a picture of that? That was like,
that's right, it does sound like it. No.
I did pull up my phone. I want to remind everyone about the Game Tyrant Esports series that starts February 13th.
And you will be casting that, correct?
I will be casting that. That is a League of Legends tournament. And just as a quick little thing, I want to read out what it says. This unique series has guaranteed 7 weeks of online play with 2 weeks of quarter and semifinals. Week 9 will be the grand finals that will be hosted, COVID permitting, live at the Game Tyrant Gaming Center in North Salt Lake.
Okay.
And guys, I'm not going to lie to you. Blien, you've been there before, but going to a live esports event is so much more hype than it sounds like it's going to be.
When we were at DreamHack, that was amazing, because when you're in your own home, you've got the vibe of just a few people at home. Like, my wife doesn't care, my kid Sonia doesn't care, and some people just come to your gatherings because they're just like, oh, I just want the friendship. Like,
exactly.
Like my brother-in-law is just like, oh yeah, hey, I'm here for like the social. But then when we were at DreamHack, everybody's like, these are our nerds.
Yes.
We are nerding out, and I loved it.
So, if you can't attend live, at least watch all the broadcasts. But if you can, Game Tyrant Gaming Center in North Salt Lake City. If you, again, COVID permitting, those finals will be in March. Let's all hope, cross our fingers, say a prayer, do whatever it is you do for good luck and good karma in the universe, so that we can get people together in the same room and have a great time watching those finals, because it is amazing.
I loved it. It was so much fun. We all had one common thing, and it was video games. We didn't care anything else. It was video games.
All right.
It was beautiful.
So that's my big reminder there. Anything else from you guys?
I've got nothing this week, like every week.
I listened back on that too.
I live a very not boring life. Just I got no announcements.
All right. Well, then with that, let's bring this episode to a close.
Bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Thanks to everybody who joined us today on JuPodRe. We hope you had a great time, and we hope you join us next week. Don't forget to follow us on social media. On Twitter, we are at JuPodRe, at Juhadre, at Alvatross17, at Blien with 3 N's, and at Rated R LLC. We also have Instagram. Just look up any of our ats or at JuPodRe. Or hit us up on our Slink link. It's myslink.app/JuPodRe. Don't forget to vote for What the F. We hope to see you next week, my podlings.
The big thing is our voices rather than Blien's.
Yeah, well, he's in the background.
Exactly, and that's what I wanted.
I heard you weren't just now recording that, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be loud. I really hope he doesn't call me in.
Yeah, I hope so too. But now that I turn this on to the universal mode, we can.
Oh yeah, no, we're good. We're
do
good.
the
We're
real
good.
test.
Go ahead. I'm
I
listening.
did.
I'm talking. Oh, ha!
It's already started.